Hi everyone, I see there are a lot of people early on the call. I have a bit of a cold. There'll be some coughing and some snorting. Hi Kara. Yeah, I'm excited too. I had dreams about this call for the past couple of days. Interesting. Hi Laura. Let's see who's online. Hi. We have a couple of people. Hi Alice. I think you need to click join with video if you want to enable your video feed for those who haven't turned on their camera yet. Can you guys understand what I'm saying, even if my nose is blocked? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Kara is back as goddess, more appropriately named. Okay. So we should have a fairly large event. There are like 610 people who have got a ticket like that. A lot. Like, never had that much that many participants. Now, obviously, not everybody will be able to join because of the time zone difference. But this means they are interested. They'll excuse me. They'll get the recording and will join the meditation and the information that Emilia will share. I got an email from Emilia as well, and she's doing fine internet-wise. It was a bit of a concern of a storm that was about to hit, and if that happens, she left with no power. But it looks like everything is good. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Ilya. What are you doing here so early?
Hi.
Good morning.
Well, I noticed I noticed a lot of people started to join, and I didn't want to push it any longer.
Yeah.
So I decided to show up. And if people have technical issues, to sort them out before the call.
Yeah, we got our music playing and a little bit of tea, and getting the boat warmed up, getting all settled in, put in our makeup.
Okay. So you're good to go.
Yes.
So a bit later, when more people join, I'd like to see in the chat where are you from, to see how we are doing across the globe. I think Bib is from Romania because he recognized the video that's running there. Hi, Jane. Ontario, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hi, Pierre. Welcome. In California, Veracruz, Mexico. Prague. Now let's see who woke up really early for this call or who's going to stay up really. Czech Republic, we're doing good. Hi, Mona Lisa. Hi, Kat. From time to time, I have to check with my mail to see if there are people who didn't get their call in detail. Apparently, Gmail decided to put the call details in the promotional tab, which confused a lot of people. And by the way, I've disabled tabs in Google. Don't like them decide what I should see online. Okay, doing good. Did anyone from the people who are live now join when I sent the wrong email a couple of days ago? Okay, in about 3 minutes, the email with the call to join will be sent. So we should be seeing an increasing of participants. We have 31 people so far. And a long way to go until 600. So do you guys have any technical questions that you'd like to address before we start the call? Or is everything fairly clear? Elizabeth, I had to mute you because I think your TV was on or something. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Brenda's phone. So obviously, we have a lot of people from the Walk With Me Now platform joining in already.
Is it better now? Better?
Yes, now we can. Yeah, we can hear you clearly now.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
So we will ask questions after Inelia talks.
Yes, there will be a section with Q&A.
Okay.
And after Inelia joins after the call starts, I'll mute everybody, and you'll no longer be able to unmute yourself. You have to raise your hand.
Okay.
I explained how to do that in one of the videos, and I will
Yes.
unmute people. Yeah, and then you can ask the question.
Okay, good.
Okay, excellent.
Wonderful.
Forty-two people. So, Goddess, how do you change your name in Zoom? Because I have no clue.
I just have to say hi to everybody and then I'm gonna mute.
Hi, Gabriela. Oh, we have 2 accounts. Okay. Okay, got it. And I know there's a way to rename your account name in Zoom while in the meeting, but I don't know how to. 60 people already. Wow. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. So for people who have just joined, if you'd like to type in the chat, where are you from? We have Doina from Austria. Okay. Yes, we have 610 people who bought tickets. And we have 71 participants already. So where are you guys from? Type in the chat. You know, San Diego. Minnesota, California, Slovakia. Castelar del Valles, Barcelona, Paris, Norway, Italy, France. So Europe is well represented then. Mexico, Netherlands, USA, originally from Romania, Slovenia, Peru, California, Canada, Netherlands, Romania, Netherlands, So everyone, if you don't want to ask or say anything, it's best if you mute your microphone so it doesn't create noise. India, France, Brooklyn, New York, Canada, Montreal. Okay. 96 people already. Spain. Yeah, 100. Also, you see the number of participants. That's good. Because I mostly use Zoom as the administrative account, I don't usually know what. Barcelona, Spain.
Hi, Ili.
Hi.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Much better than yesterday when I said this morning that I'm not going to miss this call even if I'm in the hospital.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can hear it. You're fully like.
I have my tea, I have my napkins. It's warm here, so we'll be fine. I'll try to mute myself when I cough, so I don't have to.
Oh, get well.
Thank you. Luckily, Nelia will do all the talking, so I'll be good. For people who can hear us, have to either turn up the volume or make sure your headsets or speakers are connected properly. There's nothing else we can do from here. Brazil, we have somebody from Brazil. Sweden.
It's gonna be a nice world call.
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody from Russia and China. I think I didn't see any. Where was somebody from Russia?
Why
Anybody
did
from Russia?
Goddess say 100? Is that the amount of people expected?
Number of people expected is 610.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I know. And so far we have 149, 150 joined, 51.
Oh, so 600 plus! Whoa!
Yeah. Not everybody will be able to join because they told me they are either working or but they want to have access to the recording. So we'll see. We'll see how many we get though. It'll be an adventure.
Excellent.
Yeah. Vermont, Canada, Toronto.
No pressure, Ili.
I'm good. As soon as Emilia joins, I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Colombia. Ooh.
So nice.
So I know for sure there's somebody from China who got a ticket, but I don't know if they'll be able to join.
No, right.
Hey.
Well, what time is it in China right now, right?
Hi guys, I just want to say hello. I'm Ralph. Nice
Hello,
to meet
Ralph.
you. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, Ralph.
Joining you all. Hi,
Hi.
Lee. I got your email there. We had it on two different mails actually from my wife's
Mhm.
used, but that's fine. So now we're here with you. Everybody
Excellent.
okay? Did you have a great Christmas?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's important with Christmas.
And yourself?
Yeah, wonderful.
Nice.
I live in Luxembourg, so you all know, in Europe, and I actually spent my first time in December in a former Eastern country, Lithuania. So I came back on the 23rd. So at least I had Christmas at home.
Nice.
That was for my work. So that was beautiful. Yes.
We're living not so far away from each other, I guess. I live in the Netherlands.
Oh,
Me
you
too.
live in Holland.
Me too.
Oh, and now
Who is that? Who is that? Ah, me too.
one. Oh boy, nice. Come here. Here's
Very
my wife, Isabel.
Nicolette.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Come here. Say,
Likewise.
Nice to meet you. Oh,
You know, I cannot. Write in English with my mobile is problem. I only have French with my mobile,
Mhm.
and I don't want to speak.
You just did.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Yvonne.
No, I know
Hello.
that. I don't know anyone.
Me neither.
So we
hello,
already had
everyone.
225 people.
Look, more
Hi.
people from Holland.
I'm from Holland.
Me
There's some more
too.
Dutchies here.
Hello. From The Hague.
Hello.
It's an invasion. It's an
It's
invasion.
Ivana, you're also from Holland?
Yes.
Ah, kijk.
And it's my
Heel
first webinar.
Oh,
So it's all new for me.
they're
I
so
mean,
nice.
This is new for me. Yes.
They're very nice webinars with Inelia.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi.
Can. Hello.
Hello.
I'm in Australia.
Hi.
Australia.
If I want to actually take off the video, how do I do that?
The screen on
There's a
the right
stop
side.
video button, and under your picture.
I can unmute.
Next to the mute button, maybe there's a stop video button.
Hey, Aaron is here.
No?
Hi.
Hi, this is Mary from Sacramento saying hi to everyone, especially the people in Holland, because pretty much my family's all Dutch.
Nice.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. I'm from Holland.
Sure.
Said it.
Hi.
Oh yeah, the Jong. Right.
That's a typical Dutch name.
Very.
Well,
Very Dutch.
My maiden name is also De Jong.
All right. Family.
my name is not De Jong. My name is Van Rooij.
Ah,
Also Dutch.
Dutch, very Dutch. Yes.
Very
3
Dutch.
minutes left.
Are we all Dutch?
Yes. No, not
Now?
I'm from London.
Okay.
If anyone's from London.
Hi.
Hi, Max.
I'm Siobhan from Victoria.
Hi.
Hi.
Comes from
So beautiful seeing all these bright shining faces and vibrant eyes. Beautiful.
Minelia from Near Bay.
I'm in California.
Hello. There she is.
Hi, Inelia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
How are we all feeling today?
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Anxious.
Great.
Excited.
Brilliant.
You
I
make
think this
us
is a
fun.
record attendance for one of our live calls. Usually, I think the largest attendance, even though we've sold quite a lot of tickets, was 50 people. And we're on 278 right now.
Oh my God.
Woohoo! I think that it's very reflective of us turning up for this coming year, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot more individuals turning up for this coming year than we can imagine, can think about. You know, I do have a notebook. Oh, here it is. We have a ton of information to get through today. I'm going to wait until 10 because I know that many individuals wait until 10 before logging in. So for now, I'd just like to say hi. We're at the Ilaria. We have Brad attending. There he is. He wasn't feeling very well this morning. It's Larry walking around, making lights. I have this bright light behind me. We can't close the curtains because one of our cats or our dog jumped on the blinds and tore it to pieces. So let me just grab Brad. Can you grab me Brad? Sure. So he can say hi. Hi, Brad. And say hi, Larry. Here he is. Oh, hi. Oh, he says, I'm not feeling too good today. There's too many energies that I don't know what to do with. And that is actually what can happen to us too. A lot of the time we can you turn it up? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe down. Yeah, there, it's perfect. Yeah, when there's a lot of energy, even if there are positive energies, there's so much stuff going on that our physical bodies can get a little bit queasy, almost like seasick, right? When there's a lot of movement and stuff like that. And today, certainly for some of us, that's happening. The field of energy that we're going to be talking about actively creating in a minute, it's huge. Enormous. Hi everybody who just joined the call. We're at 313 people right now. And anyways, I was just saying hi. I wasn't starting our information yet. And so yeah, I'm going to read a little few of the countries that we have today. We have Victoria, BC. We have New Scotia, Canada. We have France, Mexico, Mexico. France, Mexico, Romania, France, Australia, Thailand, the USA, Georgia, Kentucky, USA, Estonia. Ooh, where did I go? Hold on. We have a dangerous kitty cat very close to the keyboard here. Not a good link.
Maybe I'll get a hat of something.
Let me just move the keyboard away from the kitty. We also have France again, and Switzerland, Norway, Ontario, Canada, Remain, USA, Germany, Blind Bay, Canada, New Mexico, Romania again, and Romania again, Maine, Switzerland, Chile, Holland, Miami, USA, Alexandra from London. I thought that was a place. Australia, Canada, Bulgaria, Canada, Germany, Austria, Brazil, Scotland, Sweden, Port Angeles, USA. Oh, you're one of our neighbors. Germany, Texas, USA, Bahamas, Canada, Majorca, England, California, USA, Topanga. Oh, is that the canyon? Topanga Canyon is my favorite, one of my favorite places on the planet. Colombia, South Africa, Canada, Sweden, Spain. Okay, Brewster, New York, I think, NY. Bucharest in Romania, Czech Republic, Spain, Hague, Holland, and Zaragoza, Spain, Iran, wow, Vietnam, oh my gosh, isn't this freaking awesome?
Mm-hmm.
We're lighting the planet up all over the world, it's bright lights. Oh, there's more. Montreal, Canada, Luxembourg, Southern Illinois, that's USA, Luxembourg again, Italy, Hague, Holland, Amsterdam, New Zealand. We're up to 336 individuals. Bali, Indonesia, Paris, Central America, Costa Rica. Another one of my favorite places, Costa Rica. Alrighty, so welcome everyone. It's awesome. Somebody says an Argentinian from Costa Rica. It's really, really good to be here with you. Really, really good to be here with you. I'm going to close down the chat. Okay, I've closed down the chat.
Inelia, before you start, can I say a bit about Zoom for people who are totally new to Zoom?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, so now we have a lot of people who are new to the Zoom platform. And how this call is going to be is that everybody except Inelia will be muted, and you'll not be able to unmute yourselves, but you can raise your hand when the Q&A section will happen. And then I will unmute you and you'll be able to ask your question, and then I'll mute you again. Excuse me. Also, if I hear echoes or big noises in my headset, then I also have to mute you to clear the signal so we can understand each other. So know why that happened. There are some people I can see in the chat who don't have a microphone next to their webcam icon. This usually means that on that device you need to you need to give permission to the Zoom app to use the microphone. So you go to your settings in Android or iOS and give permissions to the Zoom app to record audio or use the microphone to be able to speak. And that's how you activate your microphone and sound. If there are people who cannot hear us, make sure your volume is turned up and that your headset is connected properly. There's nothing else we can do from here because I can hear Inelia, so obviously the sound works well. Let's see if there's something else.
Thanks for hearing. Connect.
Okay. So that's all. If you can't hear us, you connect your headset properly and turn up your volume.
Turn up your volume. All right. Hopefully that'll work.
Okay, now I know why.
Because I can't hear you, right?
Right. Listen. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
So we have a lot of information to get through today. We're going to look at what's been happening, what we're building up as a society, as a species, as a planetary thing, what's been happening to us as individuals, and how it's going to be for our next year, okay? And also, I'm going to lead us into a unified field of energy, which is already existing in time-space, outside time-space. It's the multidimensional field, extremely high frequency. Allow yourself, instructions for it would be, allow yourself permission to be, exist, and create this field. Join it with others. I think that we can already talk about what the main aspect of 2019 will be is connection, communication, and joining. And even if you're by yourself in a low frequency location on the planet, you can still be connected to everybody else around the planet. And this field will be it's already created in time space. You can even tap into it right now. We will do the actions of creation within a point in time space. And you can connect to it at any time during 2019 and forever. It's like, it's not going to go away. It's existing. It's already existed. It's going to be exist, and it's created. It has been created. It will be created, you know. So it's one of those mystical aspects of reality that we are integrating into our lives. You're here because you're awake, okay? You're here because you are choosing a higher frequency experience. If you have any doubts or your questions are about, will I make it, how will I know? You don't have to ask it anymore because you're here. You're taking your vote. It's up to you, right? But we will be dealing with that later on in the call. So because of the amount of information that we're going to cover, I made lots of notes so that I don't forget anything. So to begin with, I would like us to start the meditation. Again, before we enter it, it's your participation that makes it possible, right? It's your energy, your intent, and your decision and your choices that makes it happen. And we're facilitating it, all of us, every single person in this call, whether live or listening to it in the future, and yourself listening to it from a future point in time, are creating this field. We're co-creating it. We're doing it together. It's us. It's an us. It's a we, right? And we will be looking into, if you have any fears come up when we're doing this meditation, know that the intent and the boundaries of this field is of the highest frequency expressed by a human being. The human being being the physical body and the soul. And I can assure you that your natural frequency is already extremely high. Even if you don't think so, even if you've been struggling, as a kid, you knew this. And the rest is just stuff. It's like an overlay of negativity on top of your natural state, your natural frequency. And that is even just the base, you know, that's just the normal level. And if we go ahead and have this intent of raising that frequency, the field is way up there. You know, you can't even see it because it's up there. Can't see my hands, wee, all the way up there. So it's all the way up there. And that's the field that we're creating now. Why are we creating this field? It's a tool, it's a mystical tool, it's a tool that we can all use, right? And if you purchase the ticket for this call, right, you can share your copy of this meditation to all your friends and all your relatives and all your lists And all I say to you is, don't put it for purchase. It's for free. If you bought this ticket, right, you can share it. If you received it for free and would like to share it, you can always buy it at our website, and then it's yours to share. Okay. Why am I putting that boundary there? It's because of the intent. A person who has the intent to raise or to have that high frequency experience will walk through the door. So it's just the door, right? Originally we thought, you know, let's do this for free, but I knew from previous experiences that when we do free calls, we get the trolls in, the negative people, because literally, and in our lives, when we say everyone's welcome, it's true. Everybody comes in, including the people that want to destroy what you're creating. So this is a filter because when money is chi, is your energy. A negative entity will not put their energy forward, right, to be part of this. They won't, because that links them to the high frequency stuff. So that's what it is. It's like a way to manage the negative stuff and the sabotaging and hijacking and all that type of thing. So again, if you purchased it, you all have purchased it. That's why you're here today live, right? And you didn't know that you could share it yet. But after the call, we will send you the you'll have access to the recording, and then that recording you can share with individuals that you feel will benefit from it, and are also will benefit the field of energy, unity field, and the human collective. Okay, so they are also co-creators. Keep that in mind. Okay. Anyways, again, if you feel any fears or anything going forward, you can always stop. You're a sovereign. Just because you're on the call, just because you started the meditation, doesn't mean you have to stay in it. Okay. It means that you are the sovereign. You are the one that decides moment to moment whether you want to continue with the meditation or you don't. You're in full power, full control of your life, of your collaboration, of your partnership, or your participation in the creation of this field of energy. So be aware of that. Be sovereign about it. If you feel anything negative, if you feel any fear, if you feel anything like that, the first thing that I usually do is I process it. I do the you're welcome here, and you look at it and I release it. And if it goes away, it's great. But if it continues and builds up, then it's your higher self, it's your inner self, your knowledgeable self saying, okay, you know, stop, stop, stop. We're not ready for this, or this is not really compatible with us, or this is not really resonant to us. So we're stepping away. And that's what you have to listen to, okay? I'm going to be guiding us, right, all of us, into this field of unity, meditation, unified field of high frequency. But you are the person who knows if that frequency and those words are compatible with you. Okay? Listen to yourself, listen to your own authority, and follow it. Yeah. If Ilya says to everyone, make sure the Skype is closed so it does not conflict with Zoom over the audio. Thank you, Ilya. He came up with a message. All right, so here we go. I find it easier for myself to close my eyes when I go into an altered state. We are going to be creating an altered state. What does that mean? It's a state of awareness that is different to our natural, normal, everyday state of awareness, our consciousness. If you Google it, you'll find lots of different explanations, because philosophers and psychologists, psychiatrists, and scientists haven't actually come to a consensus what consciousness is, or awareness is, and an altered state of awareness is. You know, they haven't even got there yet, because they still haven't got quite right, or they haven't defined what a normal one is. But for this purpose, the purpose of frequencies and energies and mystical energies and spiritual energies, an altered state of awareness is an expanded state of awareness it's a high frequency state of awareness, and where you personally make a connection with your source energy. Okay. There are no in-betweens. All I do is guide us, makes it a little bit easier, right? It's like when you're in a car and you turn in the map on and it says, you know, in 500 feet, turn left. You know, it's a little bit like that, but it's up to you to turn left or go, no, actually, I don't really like that road. I'm going to go further and then turn left, you know. So it's more like that. Alrighty, are you sitting comfortably? If you're not, just, you know, make sure you are. Get your chair nice and comfortable. Let's see if I can get this chair a little bit more comfortable. Oh yeah, there's a pillow over there. Hold on. Okay. I've got a nice fluffy pillow. So get yourself right, nice and comfy. We always like to take care of our physical bodies during these meditations, because our physical bodies are partners in everything. It's good to look after them. Okay, so during this meditation, you may get warm, you may get cold, there might be like temperature fluctuations. Play it by ear. If you get very uncomfortable, just pause yourself and just get yourself a blankie or a fan, right? If everything's good or it's not that uncomfortable, just carry on. All right. So yeah, so I like myself to close my eyes, so I would invite you to close your eyes, but you don't have to. It's up to you. So close your eyes and breathe. Take a deep breath and out. We're gonna just breathe deeply for a few seconds. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. As you breathe in and out, allow the overlay of negativity on yourself, your life, your relatives, your connections, your planet to lift. Just, you can visualize it or just tell it to lift, and it just lifts away from you. And as you breathe in the high frequency experience, the high frequency reality, the high frequency state of everything, everyone, and yourself. You allow yourself to be engulfed, bathed, held in high frequency. As you breathe in, it goes into your physical body too. We're going to welcome our co-creators from around the planet. Just allow yourself some time to feel into all the high frequency people, individuals who are on this call today, tapped into it in the past, will tap into it in the future. You can say hi, you can shake hands. Or if you don't really want to, if you want to, you know, not be touched, that's okay too. Everybody respects this, respects the hi, respects the I rather not connect or contact. There is a connection. You can have a connection that's observational. But you can be seen and you can be unseen too. Whatever feels the best for you. If you're willing to be seen, have that intent, and we can spot all the bright lights from around the planet, all over the planet. Beautiful, beautiful bright lights. Welcome. Let's spend a few seconds, a few minutes, a moment, simply acknowledging each other, greeting each other, observing each other. At this moment, I can feel and sense many members of people's entourages, the high frequency members of people's entourages, requesting to be also part of this field. It's really up to each individual to say yes or no, whether you want your entourage, your high frequency entourage members, that means your guides and angels, ancestors, spirit guides, animal spirits, the high frequency ones. Up to you if you want them to be part of this field. I'm allowing mine. Any invitations that are individuals who are low frequency wanting to join the field to lower the frequency are not welcome here. They're out. They're shut out. And it's their own inner, real desires of lowering the frequency that counts as the filter to keep them out. Not what we believe they're going to need or want. Now that we have greeted each other and looked at each other, shook each other's hands, the next request is for us to make a field of energy, a unified field, and this is done by giving permission to connect at a high frequency level, only at a high frequency level, with every single person who is also willing to connect at a very high frequency level with us. I say yes, I'm willing to connect to every single person who has that intent to connect at a high frequency level. This connection is key. This is what creates the field of energy, that powerful, powerful, beautiful, enormous planetary field of unity in high frequency. If you're perceiving any doubts about, are you worthy, are you high frequency enough, process that is just a firewall. You're a divine, eternal being. You have access to massively, massively high frequency energies, and you are made of those frequencies too. And all the other stuff, if the overlay of negativity hasn't quite lifted off, bypass it. Go right through it. Leave those behind. And join from a perspective, from the point, the viewpoint of that higher frequency self that you are. Allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to express that. It's safe now. It's safe in this field. You can also visualize or just state it. Links of energy, bright, high frequency links of energy between myself and all the other people on the planet who have chosen this high frequency experience is here. I co-create it. I allow it. And you can also visualize it around the planet. It looks like a net. Beautiful, beautiful links all over the planet. And each light in turn becomes brighter and brighter. Allow the connection to exist between us. Know that it exists now. Even if you did it for 1 millisecond, it's there for eternity. It always was there. It steps out of time, space. It's extremely powerful. It's the connection that you can tap into and use at any point in your life. As the co-creation happens and the cohesiveness happens, you can feel your own frequency rising higher and higher and higher. I would like you to move your viewpoint on a point just outside of the earth. And you can look and see the earth, the entirety of our earth. And you can see it, as you look at it, you can see it going brighter and brighter. And that's the expression of Gaia. I'm going to count to 10, but you don't have to wait for me to finish. When I count to 10 and I reach 10, I would like you to join your own bundle, your own network, your own hub of that high frequency experience of connection with Gaia's heart, with the entirety of Gaia. So here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Connect. The planet, the essence of the being, Gaia, and each of us, each individual, and all of us as a group, as a collective, join, become one. Feel and allow yourself to feel that high frequency expression of our true natures. Allow it to exist. Allow it to be real, to be felt, to be experienced. Bring your physical body into this high frequency experience of beingness, connected to Gaia, connected to every other body that has also chosen a high frequency experience. Allow them to communicate, to share, to hear each other, to express to each other that beautiful high frequency experience. Every single human being that has chosen, that chooses this high frequency experience is welcome in this field. And every single animal, tree, insect, fish, creatures from this planet and outside of this planet that also choose this high frequency experience are welcome here. The expression of matter, atoms, electrons, neutrons, quarks, that choose a high frequency experience are also welcomed in this field. That is all that is welcome in this field. Those people, creatures, entities, particles, frequencies that do choose and fully, actively express a high frequency experience and beingness are the only ones welcome here. It's a safe place. There's plenty of universes and locations for the rest. Again, I'm going to count to 10, and when I reach 10, I want you to lock this unity field of high frequency experience and vibration to lock into place, to lock into place outside of time-space. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lock the field into place. Next, I want to ask you a question, and you can answer it internally or out loud. This question is, now that we have created this amazing, beautiful, eternal now, unity field of high frequency, are you choosing, would you like to make it solid, make it real, make it part of your experience here on this planet going forward, from 2019 forward, that this is the foundational frequency of experience on planet Earth? Would you like that to be true? Would you like that to happen? Would you like to bring it in? My answer is yes. As you can see, you're the person bringing it in. And my request would be say yes. But it's up to you. Thank you. I feel gratitude. I feel a field of immense, humongous gratitude. And I'm requesting for you to tap into that. Gratitude for you, gratitude to you, gratitude to us, gratitude to all the other individuals, creatures, particles, everyone that has decided to say yes, everyone who created and is creating and will create this field. Thank you. You now have full access to this field of energy. You can be in that field of energy for the rest of your life. You can come in and out of it. You can tap into it whenever you want or need it. You can sit in it and bask in it for as long as you want. I like you to breathe deeply in and out. And it's up to you. You can stay in this altered state of awareness, or you can pull yourself back into a normal state of awareness for the rest of the call. You may open your eyes when you're ready. You can wiggle your toes and fingers to get back in touch with your physical reality. You can also touch your clothes or piece of furniture. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Absolutely beautiful co-creation. You good? Yes, good job. Might need some tissues for some tears there. that was pretty cool. Thank you very much. I know, I mean, it feels like, okay, now we just go and lie down somewhere and just bask in this beautiful energy, right? But we decided to do the looking into 2019. So we can do that now. But when you listen to this recording, you can just close it there. Or maybe Ilya can organize just the meditation recording for us. That would be really good. We have 396 participants online right now. Woohoo! Very good. Okay, so I'm going to do a little review of this past year, but mostly so that it gives us some information and some insight into what's coming in the coming year. This review is, I'm trying to get more light into my face here. Maybe if I move forward, is that better? Yeah. All right. I think if I sit forward, it looks a bit better. So yeah, the review is going to be basically to put into context some of the things that at a social level or a national level are going to be coming towards us to derail us, basically, as individuals, but also as groups in 2019. I know some of you have already heard individuals looks into 2019, and I think uniformly, from what I've heard, everybody's saying, oh my God, it's going to be really rough. It's going to be lots of turbulence and other such words. And I'm going to explain what that means, what I've seen it, what that actually is, okay, the mechanics behind that turbulence. So some of the major items that have been happening in 2018 have been to do with governments. World War threatened several times, I think. You know, I think the United States was going to go to war with Korea and Russia and China and I don't know how many people. And it's like, yeah, on Saturday we're going to start the war. And it's like people would ask me, oh my God, what have you done? Have you got food and whatever? So I'm like, it's not going to start, because that's not the point. And there's two parts to this mechanical thing. One of them is, one of the rules, some of you have already studied the rules of engagement, the class that I have that talks about how society works, how the human collective works. One of them is, when you have an intent, you want to do something, you have to get agreement from individuals on the planet. It's almost like a consensus agreement of things. So if somebody says, we're going to go to war on Saturday, and enough people believe it or agree with it in more active ways, then it happens. But if enough individuals say, I don't think so, no, that's not going to happen, right? I don't want that to happen, then it won't. A bit to understand a mechanic again, to understand why that works, is that something that we have to face as humans, especially when it comes to people who are asleep, is that the human species is a herd animal, right? What does that mean? We move in groups. Energetically, physically, emotionally, we move in groups. But also that means that you get a herder, right, that can tweak us here and there, and they can guide us into a different location or a place that we don't really want to go. So this is something we have to keep in mind. And all these things have been happening in 2018, including like corruption and all sorts of weird stuff all around the planet. Negative things, fearful things, are herders trying to herd us into a state of terror, a state of deep fear.
Oh, so it's hard to see you because of
Still hard to see me?
Yeah.
I can echo. Larry's trying to fix the light instead. So this is something to take into account. And this is also one of our strengths. We can make collective decisions, but how are those decisions done? How is that created? One person can break the herd mentality, right? But also one person can guide the herd. So a herd, like, say the news items are trying to tell you that you're going to die of a terrible disease. You can't go outside, you have to wear masks, you can't shake people's hands or touch anybody or anything. And you fully subscribe to it, then you're part of the agreement to that being real, that happening. If you decide, you know what, I don't think so, I'm not going to be afraid, right? Then it won't happen. It'll just dissolve into nothingness. Yeah. So it's like that decision. You can add to the energies. And why so much fear? Why it's like the system of governance, the system of lifestyle here on this planet right now, in the majority of the planet and all of the planet, is dominance. It's like power over others. People dominate other people through fear or through hardship or even through torture, emotional torture. I would say that the news system, the media system, is a form of torture. It keeps people afraid all the time, full stress all the time, stressed out. And that's how people get herded. So the typical things that you can do: switch off the television, live television, just choose shows that you have control over, you can watch at your pleasure, and that don't lower your frequency and don't invite you to become righteous. Right? The righteous energy is one of the most violent, low frequency energies that we can create. So don't go into righteousness. Anything invites you into righteousness, you know, it's a negative dominance energy organization person, and you'd be surprised that some of the ones that are really into you never think that that's what they were doing. The why so much fear, and so yeah, it guides us, but also it's a form of vampirism. Like when a person becomes very fearful, or in great suffering or hopelessness, helplessness, depression, they are wide open to be fed from at an energetic level. And what does it feed? It feeds the matrix of dominance over others, power over others. So it's like a full circle thing, yeah? And to unplug from it, all you have to do is basically unplug from agreeing to have those experiences. Why am I talking about this and the review, a little bit of a review for 2018, is because these type of things are going to be ramped up for 2019. Like, it's going to be immense. I mean, they have good imaginations, right? Good social architects, and they're going to bring a lot of fearful things to the news, to the forefront. Things like maybe even, you know, states of emergencies and arrests, all sorts. I mean, you know, it's like it can be tried, right? And it can be executed. And even if the human collective, one of the things we have to remember is that it's really easy to fall into the victim-aggressor energy when we talk about these things. And as soon as you fall into the victim-aggressor energy, you're partaking with that creation. You're partaking in it. You're feeding it. And you think, well, how am I supposed to react then? What am I supposed to do, right? If these things happen in my country, in my neighborhood, what am I supposed to do? Things might happen, but you have to understand that we are manifesting it as a collective, okay? Think about it like a filter, like the ultimate filter. You know, it's like, I don't know if you make coffee with filters, but you put a piece of paper, like the filter is a piece of paper, and then you put the grinds of coffee there, and then you pour water, and all the bits of coffee grind beans stay inside the paper, but all the liquid with the yummy flavor comes out to the thing underneath, right? And it's a little bit like that. The people who want to continue in a like that paradigm have a lot of resources. They're very well organized. Why did we manifest such well organized, full of resources individuals in our collective to keep us in this like that paradigm? Because it's not a natural state of the human collective. That's why. And for it to stay, it requires a lot of skill. It requires a lot of resources. It requires a lot of work. And that's the only way to keep it, right? So as a collective, we decided at some point to have a like that paradigm experience. And we manifest individuals who hijack spiritual organizations, who hijack collectives, and who hijack countries, who hijack things like war, and keep people separate, keep people with the illusion of separation going on. If you're united, like if everybody could know, feel, and see what other people are thinking, feeling, and doing for reals, you couldn't have a war. Because, for example, the wars in the Middle East are all about ching-ching money, right? The armaments and all that technology, the ships and the airplanes and the guns and the bullets, they're all very expensive to make. And there's a lot of money being made from those. And also then there's the aspect of oil and other things. But if you have, let's say, 40,000 soldiers, right, men and women, who are told we have to go to that place and protect democracy and the innocent. Are you ready? Will you do it? I mean, who would say no to defending the innocent, right? But if they were told, well, you know, we have these companies that need to make a lot of money because they like a lot of money and make a few individuals very, very rich on the planet. And to do that, we have to go and kill people in this other country and create a war and create famine and create all these things so we can make a lot of money. You won't be making a lot of money. You'll probably come out damaged and disabled and traumatized. You'll probably have post-traumatic stress for the rest of your life and not be able to function very well. Who's willing to come and do it, right? Not many people will. So that's why the separation is necessary to have those type of experiences, because if you can see and connect, if we were all connected, that's the true essence, the true reasons behind wars would not be able to be hidden. And not many soldiers, not many guardians, not many individuals would say yes to that. Some of them would, but not many. You wouldn't have 40,000 for sure. Maybe you'd have, I don't know, 20. That would say, oh yeah, let's do that. You know, it's a great idea. Let's go kill people for fun. But it's like very, very few. So that's part of the hurting thing too. We are manifesting individuals who will continuously through 2019 be inviting us to fall into despair, to fall into fear, to fall into drama and hardship and all these things. We are manifesting those individuals to filter out everybody who hasn't really made a full commitment to having a high quality life and experience as a species, right? It's like being on a ship full of people and who's, you know, driving. The reason that I was very keen to do this field of unity meditation, well, two things. One of them was, well, I felt it. I thought, whoa, what is that? You know, oh my gosh, we're going to do that. Oh my God, that's amazing. I want lots of people to come. So it's really powerful all over the planet. Woo! But the other reason was because unified like that, it's like you can't shake it off, you know? It's like if things happen, the things that are coming up and they do affect you, not necessarily everybody, but some of us will be affected by these things, these invitations. Just when you step into that field, it will be like you're in this stillness and beautiful high frequency, like you could call it even a bubble, right? And all around you, there's this storm raging, like violent 200-mile winds and cars and things flying around you, right? And you're just in this stillness, in this beautiful place of stillness. But what happens, right? What would happen if you engage? What happens if you put your arm into that wind, right? One of two things, your arm's going to get ripped off, or you're going to be pulled in and you're going to be in the middle of a storm. So that's the type of choice really that we have. It's going to be tempting to engage in drama at a social level, but also at a personal level, like with people that we know and love and, you know, people around us who are not doing the diligence to stay in a high frequency place and make those conscious choices. So when people have said there's a lot of turbulence for 2019, basically that's what it is, right? That's what it is. It's invitations to stay in the domination paradigm. So how do we counteract it? We step into that unity field, right? And there's also a couple of other exercises that I'm going to give you later on, closer to the end of the call, right? Really simple, extremely powerful exercises that are going to help you stay on track with your decisions. Okay, so the context of these items that we're going to look at. Okay, so again, what you've been seeing happen in 2018 is going to increase at a social, governmental, national, planetary level. How to counter that, right? We're going to look at how to counter that with 2 exercises, but we talked about that field of unity. That's what you can use. This is a major, major, major thing that we created of connection. Connection is a key aspect as well, and I want to get into as well. So I want to make a note there just to make sure I don't forget. The other context is planetary things that are going on, right, versus national things that are going on, versus your neighborhood stuff that's going on, versus your personal stuff that's going on for 2019. With regards to the planetary, national, neighborhood, and even familial at some point, that's where the turbulence is going to come in from, right? Now, your personal experience of 2019, and this is where it gets really interesting, has to do with whether you decide to fall for it, right? And join it, feed it. Let's be clear here. For you to feed that turbulence with your emotions, with your mind, your mental noise, with your stress, with your arguments, or all these things, or defense even, or whether you will not feed it by basically standing your ground. What does standing in your ground mean? It means that when somebody invites you to this type of engagement, you say no thank you. Right? And if you do fall for it for a bit, you know, you consciously say, oh, I've fallen for it. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so bad right now. I feel terrible right now. Or I feel very angry right now. I feel extremely fearful right now. I feel hopeless right now. Know that you can get out of it because you've seen it, right? You've seen, oh, I fell for it. And this is all it is. And your righteous energies might come up and you go, oh, I'm feeling righteous right now. That's interesting, right? But don't perpetuate it. Don't feed it anymore. If you don't feed it, I can assure you that whatever negative energies you're feeling will pass, right? And that's what one of the tools that we're going to be using, I'm going to be going into more depth later, is simply the words that say, this too will pass. Okay. You know, only recently I had an invitation to low frequency engagement, and it took me about, I'd say about 24 hours to get out of it, because it was from somebody who was very close to me. So, but I knew at the time, I thought, nah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to feel victimized. I'm not going to feel righteous. I'm not going to feel all these sadness or whatever's, you know. I'm not going to feel this anger. Although I was feeling it at the time, I'm feeling all those things. But it's like my feeling was, I'm not gonna like perpetuate. I'm not gonna keep it. I'm just gonna allow it to be there. Like, you know, like with if you're processing exercise, the same thing. You just allow it to be there. But I'm not gonna feed it. I'm not gonna perpetuate it. I'm not gonna keep it alive. Right. Many, many years ago, and I like to tell stories because sometimes it's easier to remember things as stories. Many, many years ago, I had a friend of mine who was the Buddhist leader for Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. She was a close friend and she was my neighbor. And I practiced Buddhism myself for many, many years. I think it was about 11 years, or maybe 17 years. I don't know. It was a long time. And I remember we went to this event, and there was a couple, a man and a woman, a married couple, who had organized it. And the man was beautiful. He was such a nice person. He was very sincere, very open, very nice person. And the woman, she was, I mean, she wasn't like a nasty as such, but she was in such deep suffering, right? She was suffering, and the entire event, like when we were sharing experiences or whatever, whenever it was an opportunity to chat, whether it was through dinner, lunch, breakfast, or the sharing of experiences, she would talk about her suffering nonstop. Now, the leader, the Buddhist leader for Ireland, she was a very compassionate person. She was very wise. She was full of good wisdoms and tools. And normally she would, when somebody was suffering, she would focus on them and help them and give them advice, how to carry on, how to deal with whatever it was that they were going through. And even if sometimes, a person just needed a hug, she would go and hug them, But with this person, with this lady that had organized the event, she did nothing. She would simply sit and listen. And she never made any comments. She never gave any advice. She never held her or anything. And this one was crying sometimes, So I became really curious because I knew my friend and I knew she was very compassionate. So I went to her after one of the days. We were walking back to our rooms, and I said to her, "What's going on? It's like this person is suffering so much, but it feels like you're completely ignoring her, or even like a little bit defensive, not defensive, but like in a kind of stoic, like body language. What's going on, And she looked at me and she said, "You know what?" She said, "I will help individuals who fall into suffering but want to get out. But this lady, this is how she has her suffering. This is my suffering, and I'm going to pet it, and I'm going to take care of it. And it's mine, and it's mine forever. And I'm going to hug it and kiss it, and it's mine, and nobody's going to take it away from me." And when she said it, and she said it like that, and I just burst into laughter and said, "No bloody way." And she said, "Oh yeah, I've known her for 20 years. She hasn't changed one little bit." Right, and it's still the same stories. And I was like, holy smokes, So that's a different attitude, yeah. That's the story, is to show you the different attitude between if you fall into suffering next year and if you fall into despair and fear or anything like that. It's a different attitude to, this is my suffering, right? I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to hold it forever, to, okay, I'm suffering right now, but I know it will pass, so I'm just going to be patient. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Yeah? Okay, good. All right. Yeah, all right, cool. So this is really, really going to be important. I'm having some trouble with the connection. Uh-oh. Please try again. Siri's talking to me. I don't know how to switch him off. Let's see. All right. So the turbulence is when these things come up and for you, asking you to engage with them. If you do engage with them and you hold them like tight, it's going to be rough. It's going to be really, really rough, right? And if you find yourself at any point in 2019, remember those words. If you start to say to yourself, "Oh my God, this is so rough, I don't know if I can handle this," remember this moment in time space, okay? I'm talking to you. So remember this moment, right? And re-listen to this call to help you get out of it. Because you can't be in that beautiful, still high frequency bubble while everything's raging around you. You can do it. And the more individuals who diligently stay in that high frequency spot, that high frequency bubble, and throughout 2019, the better it's going to be for the rest of us too, right? And even for the rest of humanity as well. So let's do that as our job for 2019, yeah. Okay, so that's the difference between the planetary, national, and personal. The planetary, national, neighborhood, familial will have lots of invitations for us to engage in low frequency stuff. The difference with the personal is that we decide whether to keep it like mine, right? Or to release it. Yes, we're feeling it at that moment, but I'm not gonna play this game. I'm not going to do this, right? I prefer a different experience. That's the difference in the personal. Yeah. And there was a writer, and I've been trying to figure out who said it, but they said, it's not the situation that's positive or negative, it's how you feel about it that makes it positive or negative, right? So know that how you feel about the stuff that's you're going to be invited to is what's going to color your own personal life going forward. Alrighty. Okay, another part of the context within what's going on next year. And I'm going to give you some details about some certain things, choices and choice points that I've seen coming up. But I'm giving you all the context before so you can get it from the right perspective of our choices and our sovereignty and our global timeline. And this context, again, is really important, and it's this. Everything, absolutely everything that you experience in life and you have experienced in life is orchestrated. It's co-orchestrated. It means that you're part of that orchestration, right? But you also have co-orchestrators, right? You have orchestrators who are people around you, people in the world, people in your nation. But you also have orchestrations of Gaia and the entities of the wind and the oceans and the eagles and the rainbows and the mountains and the roads and everything that's sentient. Everything is sentient. I know that that's sometimes hard to integrate. I was brought up with that belief, right? Everything is sentient. I later learned it was a Native American belief or cultural aspect of connection. Everything is sentient. And that orchestration includes all those too, everything. So it's a co-creation, it's an orchestration. And moving forward, don't try and figure it all out. Just do your part. Just do your part and allow others to do their part. And orchestrations, even from one conscious decision, I want the orchestrations that I partake in and feed for the next year and for onwards from next year, from this year forward, from this moment forward, to be high frequency only. That decision, that choice can alter your life, completely alter your life. Because at the moment you're doing your bit, right, for orchestrations of reality experience here for us. But if it's done unconsciously or through negative programs, those bits that you're doing for the orchestration are for negative orchestrations, right? And often we don't even realize it. That's why I'm verbalizing it right now. Everything is orchestrated. We have heard, or some of us have talked about synchronicities before. You know the concept of synchronicities, right? Yeah, you do? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Most people here know what synchronicities are all about. And those are just hints or visual validations, physical validations of a world that is orchestrated. We talk about them often to do with positive things, right? The synchronistic events that led to me becoming a multi-billionaire. The synchronistic events that led me to the right spiritual teacher that helped me open my eyes and for me to step forward into my power, my inner power. All of these orchestrations often, all the synchronicities that led me to the perfect job that fulfills me and I enjoy doing every day. That's how we think about synchronistic events and synchronicities. But we're part of that, right? So sometimes we don't have to figure out all the details. So for example, for 2019, I want to really find my dharmic work, my beautiful, inspiring, full, fulfilling job that allows me and supports me, allows me to live very nicely here on this planet, which supports me completely, right? So you can have an intent of, I want to orchestrate this and I'll do my bit. What do? You start thinking about what it could be, right? You start looking, maybe Googling things, locations, companies, you start investigating. Maybe you go back to school to learn stuff. And all these things are, you do your bit and you allow the rest of us, the rest of society, the rest of the planet, the rest of everything, the consciousness connection, to formulate the orchestration for that to become real in your life. So is active orchestration is when you feel yourself being pulled into an orchestration that's negative, you can say no, right? You can say, I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to play in that game. I don't want that to happen. So I'm not going to partake in it. I'm not going to take part in it. I'm not going to feed it. Yeah. And I'm not going to do my bit to make it real. Yeah, I'm feeling really angry right now, but I'm not going to shout at anybody. I'm just going to allow this anger to exist and expand. You know, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you take action to not do the bit that orchestrates that negative outcome. So the other side is true, right? The orchestration of your positive outcomes. Do your bit. If you feel or sense just a feeling, I have a feeling I need to get out today, go for a walk, go for a hike, or maybe go to the mall. I don't like the mall, but so I just have a feeling I have to go to the mall today. Go to the mall, right? Walk around, have a look at the stores that you like, smile a lot, right? Be happy. You did your bit, that something was pulling you to do something positive, right? Go around being smiley and nice, kind to people in the mall, and you did it. And maybe you will never know what that orchestration was about, but you did your bit, right? And maybe there was this, you know, person in the mall that was in a desperate state or whatever, you know, that's the savior energy a little bit, that felt really lonely, and suddenly you walk past with this big smile on your face and they just felt, whoa, oh, the world is not that bad, you know, it's a smile, and they felt that smile, and you smile at them and they had to smile back, or they felt like they wanted to, and suddenly that breaks the sadness, you know. Or it could be that there's another person who's really positive and felt that they needed to go to the mall. They go there and they see you smiling and they smile back and go, oh, I'm not alone. There's other people who are high frequency in the mall. Who knew? Right? You don't know, but you just do your bit. You do your bit and allow the orchestration to unfold. All right, so these are the contexts, right? Now, next, I want to go into our choices. The choices that we're going to be faced with, and there are certain, I mean, we could talk about the details. I probably don't have to. I think that you already know the type of things that are going to be thrown at us. Yeah, another world war. Maybe some nuclear explosions. That's what we're going to be invited to. Maybe experience some of those. We've already said no in 2018. We said no in various other years. Maybe some weird tsunamis, some natural events of earthquakes and things, disasters around the world. Oh yeah, the really good one is the financial collapse. You know, they're really going to go for it really big time this year. A financial collapse, a power collapse too. You know, power around the planet is going to be deleted. So it's like suddenly you have no cell phone, no computers or anything like that. I'm going to try that one too. See if we agree to it. Again, all these things are invitations, right? We have been invited to them in the past, but this year they're going to get really good. They're going to invest a lot of money, power, and resources to making us, or trying to get us to agree to that orchestration, those orchestrations of disasters and things. And now on the positive side, so there's different aspects of their possible orchestrations for 2019. Some of the negatives, like I said, those are some of the negatives that we're going to be seeing. There's also, I'm going to talk about the one that really fascinates me last, okay? The next one is so that one of those would be the orchestrations or invitations to make it even harder to live on this planet as a high frequency being. So more wars, hardship, fear, famine, and all that type of stuff. The horses of the apocalypse, you know, they've been trying to get out of their barn for ages now. They just haven't been able to. So they're going to try really hard to leave, you know, let them loose this coming year. How do you, one of the things to remember for next year also is that there's a us, right? And who are us? Who are we? We are the individuals on this planet who choose a planet without war, without fear, without hardship, right? And when you remove all those, what does that look like? It's nurturing, it's expansive, it's exploratory, it's supportive, it's creative, it supports the most beautiful aspects of us, our love, our care, our compassion, our empathy, our connection, our art, our technologies, our growth, our exploration of the multiverse, exploration of different dimensions, explorations of this dimension, planetary explorations into space, explorations into galaxies, you know? This is what we are. We are explorers, we are creators, we are amazing. We're an amazing, amazing species. And removing all those negative experiences or those negative orchestrations or games from our planet, our Gaia, and ourselves, our lives, lifting those negative overlays off, just pulling them off like a sweater, allows us to have that high frequency experience. And that's one of the choices for 2019. Personally, and it's a choice that we create as each of us individually does it in our lives. We make it happen in our environment. It's not something that's going to happen out there and we're just going to be, oh, you know, have I been chosen? Or oh, it's going to happen, you know, and it's going to be great. No. It's active. You make it happen. From today, don't wait until New Year. Start today. From today, start choosing high positive experiences. Yeah. From today, start removing those negative overlays and saying no to the low frequency engagements. From today, when you fall into, because we will, I mean, I don't know, maybe some of you are totally so powerfully, I do actually know a couple of people who are so determined and so strict in their own frequencies that when they say, okay, from now on, I'm giving up suffering, I'm gonna, yeah, it's a bad thing happened and I will have experience pain, but I'm not gonna hold on to it, that's for sure, right? And if I do feel angry, it's gonna go in a couple of seconds. I'm not gonna keep it longer than 2 seconds. I'm gonna choose a different choice, a different emotion. And I've met them and it's like, whoa, and their lives, you know, they change their lives just like that. Me, I'm a little bit slower, I'm slower in the uptake, I take my time. So I do sometimes fall into fear, sometimes I fall into anger and righteousness and arrogance, you name it, I fall into it. And when I do, I have that, I'm getting into the habit, right, of saying, okay, Am I choosing this? And this is one of the other tools that we're going to be looking more deeply into. I'm choosing this. Am I really choosing this, or is it some program stuff? Okay, I choose something else. And I know this will pass. Because emotions sometimes, they fill your body, you get full of that emotion, and it sometimes takes hours to get out of it. But what I do is like I stop acting from that frequency. Even if I have to say, I just need to breathe, maybe just be supported in hold me in a high frequency energy for now, because I'm not in a good place right now, You can do that too if there's people around you, right? Instead of rah, 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 you this and this and the other and blah 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 blah, even to yourself in the mirror, it's like, you're still there, how could you fall into this stuff, no, don't go there. Do the other. Right? So the choices and this is the last one that I want to talk about, this choice that's coming up in 2019, and I talked about a little bit on my newsletter. Some of you may have read it, and it's called The Split. It's a physical split, and it's like, if, right, everybody who's negative and promotes negativity, I should say, promotes it actively, was to leave our reality, leave our planet, how would that feel? And what would you do? Would you go with them, or would you stay here and lift your own negative overlay and have a beautiful experience? Right? What would you do? And 2019 is that year, is the year of that choice. This is it, And I don't know how it's going to look like at a physical level, but I know it's going to be huge. It feels huge. I was one of the few individuals who in 2012 and in 2017 said, yeah, nothing's going to happen, when everybody else was saying, oh, there's going to be a split and there's going to be this and that and events. Nah, none of that's going to happen. And then people say, oh, it was an internal event, it happened inside of us. I don't think so, right? This time, I look at it and I don't get that feeling of, nothing's going to happen. I don't get that. I get the opposite. I get the, oh, are you freaking serious? Wow. And then when I look at it closely, it's like, oh, that teaching that says, be the change you want to see in the world, or I can't remember, it was Gandhi or somebody said it, right? It's for reals, man. It's now. It really is. And also the thing that I've been saying for years, the new paradigm is not a location in time and space. It's something that you do. That's something that you are, that you create. So for me, this coming year, I could say all sorts of things. I know what I want it to look like, right? I can tell you that. But it is something that we do. This physical split is something that's very, very personal, and that we do, each of us does. And I know that if enough of us do it, there's going to be clear validation, clear actions, clear happenings on the physical world. Now, for 2018, going into it, there was that exposure, it's like the choices of what's acceptable type thing. And lots of stuff started happening at a very public level, like the Me Too thing, with the sexual exploitation of people, men, women, and children around the planet. And all these things became seen, right? So things became seen at a very, very, very public level. As a society, we decided that, what? Sexual exploitation is no longer okay. It's no longer okay. It's not going to be kept secret anymore. It's going to be talked about. If you do it, you're going to be told on, right? And if it's happening to you, you have the power to say no. No, I don't think so. That's going to go. I don't want to, right? and no, I'm not going to lose my job because I said no, or whatever, right? So that became very, 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 very public. It was right there, and everybody felt good. And it's part of that connection. It's part of that process. But what I see for this coming year, 2019, is the physical expression of a high frequency human collective taking the reins of the planet. How does that feel to you? Yeah? Yeah, yeah. And you are the person who has to take the reins of your life for that to happen. Do you see? Do you see the connection? Yeah. And the more of us that say, yes, I'll do it, the more obvious the physical evidence is going to be. The more obvious the physical evidence is going to be. Yeah. I have a friend. I've done a couple of interviews with him. His name is Franco De Nicola, and he talked about a very, very, very physical split. And he mentioned August, September of 2019, where he literally, what he saw was people not longer on this planet that were low frequency people. He talked about percentages and stuff. And when I looked at it, I saw that it's a huge possibility, right? But it's dependent on us doing it ourselves. It's dependent on us bringing that about. And I know what this means, that, and I felt it too. It's like, what about the people that I love who do promote suffering, who are energy vampires, who are crack addicts, but I love them, you know. I have a son who's an addict, you know, and he's a very dark being right now. So it's like, what do I do about him? You know, it's like, if I really, really integrate this into my life, he's not going to be a part of my life after 2019. You know, he's not going to be here on this planet. Then how do I feel about that? And if you're a mother or a parent or even a brother or sister or a lover or a husband or a wife, or you're a friend or a neighbor, you know, and you know these individuals who you know are choosing the other side, it's hard, it's tough, and that's one of the engagements, invitations for you to say no to this reality, the reality of the high frequency experience. And it's up to you. You're going to have to make that decision, because one of the things that you can start from today is to say to that person who promotes negativity and suffering and indulgence in negative stuff, to say to them, that's okay, you can do that. It's perfectly fine, do that, but I'm not going to partake anymore. I'm not going to be part of it anymore. I'm not going to try and save you. I'm not going to try and support you. I'm not going to try and punish you. I'm not going to try to engage with you anymore at that level. And at the moment that that level comes up, I'm going to say no. Yeah, we can hug and kiss and talk about interesting things. We can have dinner together. But as soon as you ask me for money, for new shoes, it's going to say no. It's going to be no. And the moment you attack me and you blame me for your suffering in your life stuff, I'm going to say no, I don't think so. Right? So it's like, that it's actually the kindest thing you can do, because when you're engaging in a level of suffering, you're co-creating, you're feeding their suffering, you're feeding that reality for them. So if you're out of that cycle, out of that co-creation, you're no longer feeding that. And that's the kindest thing you can do for your loved one. That's a negative space. The other thing is that many people who are not actually in their spiritual journey or awake are actually choosing a high frequency experience, right? So don't assume that just because somebody, doesn't know what a chakra is, that they're going to go into the log negative stuff. No, not at all. There's a lot of people who were brought up in culture societies or even have interests that are very, very, very different to ours. But in their heart, they're really good people who go out of their way to make life and the planet a beautiful place. Yeah. And those will definitely be part of that new experience for sure. And it's going to be a learning process, as we do it ourselves, start today, we start learning and figuring things out. And that's going to help other people too, as the choice becomes more clear at a more global level. There was a legend, I've heard it in 2 or 3 different cultures about 3 days of darkness, and I talked about it before. And one of the legends, the one that was part of my culture, was it wasn't 3 days, I don't think. I think it was more like 10 or something. But it was like this, and it's a legend that is symbolic, right? So there was these days where the world would go into like a deep darkness. And the legend said, if you have any fear in your heart, you're going to experience those 10 days as hell. And you're going to be probably die in the end of it because it's going to be too much. It's going to be too torturous. But if you, so it was fear, anger, resentments, and all those negative things. If you're in your heart, have good intentions and have goodwill and have light, right? Happiness, inspire others and inspire yourself. If you have that type of energies in your heart, then those 10 days are going to be felt like a blink of an eye. Yeah, it's like you're going to close your eye, open them, and like, oh, what just happened, right? So this kind of year, 2019, reminds me of that. The turmoil and suffering and whatever it is that you experience is going to be directly related to what you hold on to, how long you hold on to things, and to negative people too, right? If you start releasing those, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself and others, be gentle with others, and always have in mind, I choose a high frequency experience. It's going to be easier. It's going to be easy. Okay? So if there's any like details and stuff that you want to talk about, we will have a question and answer thing. I'm going to check on the time. Oh, there's no time still. 10, 11. Oh yeah, we're nearly close to 2 hours. Oopsie. I haven't finished yet. All right. So a couple of things. Here I go. Oh, thank you. A couple of things. Water. One of them is the stuff that happens, that stuff that you're going to be looking at, experiencing, or stepping into. It's not always about you. Okay? You do live in a co-creative experience. And sometimes the stuff that you're walking through or to, it's not about you, but about other people. Right? And that has a direct correlation to do your bit. Make sure that you have that statement, that you have that intent. I will only engage in orchestrations which are high frequency. Yeah. Always have that intent as you move forward in life. And allow the orchestration to happen. Yeah. So, and these orchestrations, sometimes they're not about you. They're sometimes about other people. But because you're part of the co-creation, then, sometimes it's like we're talking about what these orchestrations can look like, or what doing your bit can look like. Sometimes, you have a feeling, or Gaia asks you if you're very in contact with your collective or your soul families or Gaia or the human collective, and they want you to do a little job somewhere. Sometimes you just get into a location and with a screwdriver and go, okay, my bit's done, and then like 100 other people are doing other little bits, you know, in the area, and boom, something amazing happens. It can be like that. And allow yourself to do that too. It's like you say, you can make a statement and you can go into that field, unity field, and make the statement there too as a human collective. And you say, hey, you know, I'm willing to partake and be part, a tool that for high frequency, beautiful experiences on the planet, orchestrations for that, right? That I'm willing to be part of the orchestrations that are high frequency, even if they're not about me, even if it's about a different person or a different country or a different location or a different species. I'm willing to be part of the orchestration, high frequency orchestrations for that. And it might mean, you know, doing something very simple, right? That, you know, it's not really about you at all, but it's about somebody or something else. So that would be cool too if you do that. Okay, so next I'm going to do the 2 exercises, and then I'd like us to go into the question and answer, okay? And if you do have a question, make it 1 question so that other people have a chance to ask other questions. If nobody's asking questions, right, and you have more than one, then you can come back and Ilya will tell you how to use the hands up thing and all that type of stuff, how to ask a question. So these exercises that we're going to look at, we talked a little bit about other tools that you can use. These 2 are very, very simple. The first one is, do I choose this or something else? So basically, this is how it goes. You're in a situation, right, that has lowered your frequency, and or even if it's a daily routine thing that you're not very happy about. A lot of people are working in locations they don't like, for example. So if you're in a routine type thing or a habit type thing, the best thing to do is to set an alarm in your phone, right? Or other device that has an alarm on it. And when the alarm goes off, run like during the day when you set it for every day. You just breathe in and breathe out, and you go, okay, do I choose this? Do I choose how I feel about this? Do I choose the situation? Yes. You're there because you chose it in the past. That's why you're there. You chose it. At some level, for some reason, or whatever. You chose it. Okay. Because nothing can happen to you without a choice, even if it's like a subconscious choice or a program choice. It's still yours. And you can go, okay, do I want to continue choosing this? Right? Do I want to continue with it, this choice, or do I want to change it to something else? I think most of the times that I've done, I said, yeah, you know what, I want to choose something else. And what does that look like? What does the other choice look like? Well, it feels good, for starters, right? It's a different choice. Maybe I can't figure it out right now, what that looks like, but I know that it feels good. And it feels relaxed. And it feels fulfilling. Yeah. So that's the first exercise. See how simple it is? Super uber simple. You just, and if you're not in a routine like that, you don't need to set up an alarm. You can actually remind yourself when you fall into a negative state, just breathe in, close your eyes if you can. If you're driving, don't close your eyes if you're driving. And just go breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so at some point I may have to make this choice to have this experience right now, this moment in time space. But I choose, going forward, I choose something else. I might not know what that looks like, but I know how it feels. I know how that feels. It feels good. It feels fulfilling. It feels great. And that's the choice I make. I choose to feel great. Very small, very simple tool that is extremely powerful. You can start testing it today. You'll see how powerful it is. It's going to be awesome. Okay. The other one that is highly related to this one too is we breathe into ease. Okay, this is really good when we're making decisions, or even as an alternative to the other one, where we find ourselves in a situation that is pulling us down at a frequency level. And again, it's very, very easy. You simply, in America, in North America, United States of America, they play a game called American football. And there's a saying, or there's something they do, so it's called take a knee, which is basically you pause, right? Take a knee means pause. And this is what you do. You're in that situation, or even if you're making a decision for the future, or looking at manifesting something that you really, really want in your life. It could be anything. It could be enlightenment. It could be a new relationship, or an improved relationship with the person you're with. It could be a better job, or an improved job in the place you're at. It could be a location. It could be an item, right? Or it could be a state of being, like how you're feeling that moment and you want to manifest something else. So basically you breathe in again and you go, how would this look like if it was easy? How does this look like if it was easy? And as you feel that, as you look at that, you can say, you can breathe. As you breathe in, you breathe ease into your body. You go, and you just feel the ease just going right through your body. Okay, let's do it right now. Okay, just close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in and breathe ease into your physical body, your energy body, your emotional body, your mental body. Ease, kind of like, oh my gosh, I get tingles all over my body going, oh my God, that feels so good. I don't know, did that happen to you? I hope it did, because it's awesome, right? And that's the other tool. This is it. These are the two tools, right, that we're looking into. And of course, if you really want to hang out with people who are really, really working on this stuff and support you, love you, and discuss stuff with you, and you can discuss the ideas and brainstorm and everything, we have Walk With Me Now, right? walkwithmenow.com, and amazing individuals. And I hang out there most days. I check everything, and get into the discussions, and we study, right? There's a lot of studying going on right now. 2019 is going to be a study time. The study is going to be, sometimes it's stuff that, like a movie or like a book or that was written by somebody else, but most of the studies going to be happening for the next few months in What We Mean are my work. It's like my classes, lectures, YouTubes, books. We're going to be studying and how we can use those moving forward in life. But if you don't really feel like that, do integrate some sort of study into your life. Okay, study something. This is going to be good. But I like it to come over to my school. Anyways, those are the tools that I wanted to share with you, the two exercises that I wanted to share with you. And now I'd like us to open up for questions and answer, and Ilie is going to be telling us how to do that.
So before we do that, I noticed there were some questions on the chat.
Oh, brilliant.
What is orchestration and how is that different from co-creation? So maybe you can explain that a bit.
Okay, so an orchestration is when a higher group of individuals, like a high frequency group, or sometimes low frequency groups, but it's like something that can ask for participants. An orchestra has many people, right? And there's and the orchestration means like a very, very thought out sequence of events that happens. Okay, you play the violin right now, you can play the piano right now, and okay, let's everybody play together, right? And it's guided, very, very easily guided by something, and you just partake, You play the ring the bell, ping, just that once for the entire thing, or you might be the piano player that sings right through, or a singer, you know. The orchestration is very well thought out actions that require actions, you know, of you to do. Normally it's done at a conscious level too, but most orchestration these days, like manifestation, like you manifest everything, we all manifest or co-manifest everything, are done unconsciously or through programmings. But going forward, one of the invitations is take charge of your orchestrations and the orchestrations that you partake in from other people or other beings, right? That's what it means, orchestration. Somebody maybe Google it, you know what it actually means. It's like very, 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 every tiny little detail is sought out, and yeah, it's coordinated. So Jane says it's coordinated between the individuals. Yeah, it would be like, yeah, extremely coordinated to the nth degree, right? To the last second. Everything is very well coordinated. Thank you, Jane. A co-creation is when you create something, right? There's not necessarily orchestration around it. You can get together with like an example would be, oh, let's go create a garden, right? And then you get people come in, yeah, then you talk about what ideas you have about the garden and what type of foods, and does anybody know about gardening? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, you know, maybe you can teach us, so there might be teaching going on. The time frame of things is very fluid. It depends on, you know, people's availability, and you literally go out and create it. Yes, you can also orchestrate it in that you can manage it to and coordinate it to very, very fine degrees, but it's more to do with building something, right? A co-creation creates, brings something forth into the material world, right? An orchestration could be happening, something changing, even something being destroyed, right? A co-creation can also have those end results, but it's not so coordinated. It's more like creative, spontaneous sometimes, but not always. So that to me, that's would really illustrate the difference between the two. Co-creation, can you co-create a coordination? Can you coordinate a co-creation? Yes, yeah. But the orchestrations, they feel more like a consensus of the collective to me, and they get orchestrated from consensus, and then you just do a tiny little bit, and you don't even have to think about the creation of it. You don't even have to think about the end result, or think about all the details. You just do your little bit or big bit, and then let the others do theirs. With the garden center, you probably have to, you know, get there and be more making decisions and everything else. With orchestrations, you make the decision of high frequency orchestrations and low frequency orchestrations. I don't know if, I suppose, you know, if you're a leader and highly skilled, you could orchestrate the whole thing and invite people to do their bit in a co-creation, right? Most certainly, yeah. I don't know if you can perceive the difference, if I explained it enough or clearly enough. I hope so. But that's how I see it.
I think so too. Okay, so in order to ask questions, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you so you can ask your question directly to Nelia. Alternatively, you can type the questions into the chat and I will try to keep up, but there's a lot of people writing, so if I miss it, I just can write it again. Okay. So we have.
So how do you put your hand up?
Okay, so this kind of depends on how you join. Like if you're on a computer, you have to open the participants window, which is a button under the image, and then you have on the participants window there's a more button, and then there you can raise your hand. And on devices, at the bottom right, there's 3 little buttons that say more, and you can raise your hand. Okay, so we have many hands up now.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go for it.
Let's go. So first is Mary. Mary, you are unmuted. Hi.
Okay. Is this the right Mary? Am I the right?
Yeah. Hi, Mary.
Hi. Hi. Okay. I would like to. I guess I've been kind of concerned about, climate change. It's, they talk about, getting to a certain point where it'll just be sort of really hard to turn it around. So I don't want to live in fear, but that's really concerns me.
Yeah, climate change. It's a really good fear-producing invitation. Climate has never been steady on the planet. It's always been changeable, right? When I was in school, and we're talking 1980s, the big thing was the Ice Age. I don't know if you guys were alive then or would remember the 1980s and then 1970s too, I think. The big thing was we're moving into a new Ice Age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna take over the world. We have to prepare for it. The entire planet, like most of it, is gonna be covered in ice. It's gonna be very cold. Let's build shelters. Let's build, what are those shelters under the ground? Bunkers, right?
Bunker.
Yeah. A lot of people did that. The climate always changes. I remember a few months ago, I saw an article that talked about an excavation in the Midlands in England had revealed a vineyard of a type of vines that only grows in the Mediterranean. And it was old. It's like the trees before they got covered in mud and everything were really, really old. I think vines can last decades, not hundreds of years. I don't know how long a vine can last, but those had lasted a long time before they succumbed to the elements, right? And I don't know if you've ever been to the Midlands in England and back, and I assure you can't grow grapes there now. You cannot. It's too cold and too wet. But apparently a few hundred or maybe a couple, 2,000-3,000 years ago, yes, you could grow vines there and have wine from it. So the climate is changing all the time, and the energy of we're doing all this stuff and it's polluting it, whatever, and it's gonna be irreversible. It's not true. Okay, that's all I can tell you. It's not true. That's not real. Yes, our climate changes all the time, but we're not going to destroy our atmosphere. We're not going to destroy our planet through climate change. We're not powerful enough as a species to do that. One volcano exploding creates more pollution in an hour than we do in 10 years or something. And volcanoes have been exploded on the planet forever, I think. Yeah, sometimes you get like a lot of ash and some areas get destroyed, but they come back. How nature just comes back is just incredible, unbelievable. People say, oh, there's not fish in the ocean. There's plenty of fish in the ocean. There's no life in the ocean. Well, you should look at the bottom of Ilaria, the boat where I'm on right now. Is covered in life. We have to pull her out and scrape it all off because it's like so much of it. We can't go anywhere. So the whole thing about, oh, it's going to be reversible, we can't survive it, and this and the other, is just fear mongering. It's not real. It can never happen. They're trying to make it real through engineering and stuff so that we suffer and we going to crises and all that stuff and the post-apocalyptic realities and stuff, where that's not a natural state. The other thing is we can even change the weather through group intent. Can't remember how many years ago or months ago it happened. There was this massive hurricane coming right into Mexico, and all the news said it's going to be terrible. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of people dead and all this type of thing. And a lot of people started looking at it, and then there was lots of organizations around the planet who decided, you know what, we're going to send it high frequency energy. We're going to disagree with this. We want everybody to be safe. Well, the maps and everything, the weather maps showed it going through, but nobody saw it on the ground. They said it's raining, you know, but that's it. So it's like it can be to that level. I would say process your fear of climate change. Have a look, see the effects that it's having on you. By having that fear, you're voting for it to happen. So what is your choice? Make a choice. Would you like it to be true, or would you like it not to be true? And not, it's not like, oh, well, if I ignore it, then, you know, it's going to happen. Well, if you don't ignore it and you are in fear about it, it's still going to happen. So if that's the reality that's coming up, yeah. So don't worry about it because it's going to happen anyways. Or don't worry about it because it's not going to happen. It's a lie. So it's that choice. Do you want to continue in that fear, or do you want to not continue in that fear? What can you do personally speaking? The first thing is switch off the television. Like, oh my gosh, reality TV and drama and lies. Switch it off. The climate change thing, climate changes all the time. And because of the change of climate all the time, certain organizations are riding along and making it into a fearful thing. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't, I don't see it happening. I don't see any destruction of the planet or the human species through climate. I hope that helps, Mary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey. So, I have a question from Janira, and she asks, if I want to create positive things to my country, in my country, for example, how can I do it without falling into the victim-aggressor energy? For example, if I feel like helping in feeding starving people, is this disempowering because, in a way, they chose that experience? So then how can I do it?
Okay, so starving people, let's say, let's have a look at that experience. There's a couple of things there. One of them is you can process your righteousness about it, right? Or your savior energy for sure, right? So there's two frequencies that you can come towards the starving person with, or three actually. One of them is, I will do nothing. The other one is, I will feed you. And the other one is, I will show you how to feed yourself and support yourself. And I can assure you, there's organizations, human organizations on this planet right now, which carry different energies, all those energies, but different. So one organization will carry the energy of, I will do nothing. Another energy organization will carry the energy of, I will feed you and make you codependent on me, because for as long as you're starving, I have a job, right? And a board of directors and airplanes and everything else. And other organizations carry the energy of, I will teach you how to feed yourself in your situation. I would say go for the third one. If you really want to take action, first of all, process all the negative energies around it, process your savior energy, and join an organization or even start one that teaches the person how to feed themselves. That sound good? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alrighty.
Okay, the next person with his hand up is Shervin. So I'm going to unmute him.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Shervin.
Hi, Ilya. Thank you. And hi,
Shervin.
Nelia. Hi, Inelia. It's really great to be with you. I'm so much excited. I can't even, you know.
Come on, get it out there. What's your question?
Yeah, quickly to the question. You talked a lot about people living in low vibrational countries, also in the book Interview with an Angel. And also today, I wonder what's the definition of a low vibration country is, and what does it mean for the person who's living there and his or her ascension process.
Okay, I wouldn't say country as such, but I would definitely say location. Okay, there's some locations that the group of individuals are very low frequency. What does that mean? It means they are into drama, they're into violence, they're into torture, they're into domination. I've seen it, like if you go into the some downtrodden areas of cities in the United States, they're run by gangs, and children get killed every day in the United States. So it's not a country thing. Although when I lived in England, I totally thought all of the United States was like that. I was super scared to come here. Turns out it isn't, But definitely there's some cultures that are low frequency through religion, like very religious, domination-based cultures, right? So they can be in that sense, but not everybody there is. So that's to clarify the location. So what was the question about that again? I can't remember now.
I forgot to.
Maybe Ilya remembers.
What does it mean for the person who has reincarnated in that situation? Is it like a higher self thing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's a couple of things. One of them is the person has always felt like, this is weird. I don't, all these people are a bit crazy around here, They've always felt different. Often, very often, light beings, when they volunteer to come to the planet to raise the frequency, vibrational frequency of the planet, said, oh yeah, send me to the darkest place, man, I can handle it. Boom, right? No, you can't. Because they were high frequency, they came from high frequency realities, and they have no idea what a low frequency even means. But they think they can do it, and they're strong and they're powerful and everything else. But man, they're going to be a newborn baby, and they're going to be surrounded by darkness. No, it doesn't end well. Normally it's that, really, most of the times it's that. And my suggestion is get out. Don't stay there. Or if you stay, surround yourself by high frequency individuals. Yeah. But if your life is in danger, because if you say high frequency at a public location in a cafe or whatever, you get arrested and tortured and killed, then yeah, don't stay there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ilya, you're muted.
Hi. Next person is Marjo or Marjo. You are unmuted.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question that is for someone else. She's a very sensitive person, and she actually asks how to deal with all the things she feels, like all the heavy energies, the negativity, even when she tries to disconnect from the world and
Okay, so Marjo, is it?
yeah.
Okay, so basically there's certain individuals on the planet who I call the hyper empaths, right? And they feel everything, absolutely everything. You gotta, basically this person has to take control of her life, move to a location that hasn't got people in it. Maximum population maybe 200, or maximum up to that 1,000, but stay away from them anyways. Like maybe have your nearest neighbor be half a mile away. That's the first thing. When you're going through public areas, public transport, malls, aeroplanes, to and from work, buy noise cancelling headsets. They're amazing, right? Amazing. Try to avoid the Bluetooth ones. Try and get the ones with wires on them.
Of course.
And just put those on and use them every single day. You're a little bit special. And it doesn't matter if people look at you going, this person's a little bit special, because you are. So you just got to manage your life differently to others. The disconnect, take salt baths, swim in the ocean, swim a lot actually, spend time in the forest. Yeah. And parks don't really do it because there's too many people there, but forests help. And basically, you know, you really have to isolate yourself, you know, to a large degree from other people. Travel helps. If you travel to different location and stay there for a while and then come back, disconnect some of those lines that are coming in. At least it gives you a break. Growing up, I was taught by this empath that you can visualize a lever, right, a big lever of the mental noise of society, and you can go and turn it down, and then you can have a good sleep. And you can turn it up and down as needed. So you can try that too. So anyway, so that would be my advice.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I want to read a question from the chat from Tomali, and they say, is there a recipe to stay in high frequency in a case of a divorce?
Oh, I have a lot of experience on that one. I'm still in the middle of a divorce, and I'm $46,000 poorer for it, and I still haven't got my divorce. I know. Credit cards. It's bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah, and I don't have it. It's 4 years later, and I still don't have my divorce. How to stay up in frequency? There's stay in integrity. What I've done is to stay in integrity. I did play the game of the lawyers and things. I sacked my lawyer. They're not good. They take your money and then you don't get nothing. And when do that exercise of, I'm not going to play this game when they insult you, especially if it's a contested or you're with a negative person that's divorcing, you're not going to play that game. So when they insult you and this and this and the other, just like, you know, don't engage, don't defend. Yes, if you go to court, you're going to have to defend yourself, but do it in integrity, truthfulness, keep your frequency high. Right? We do have a high frequency kit at unityevents.com, I believe, and use that to raise your frequency whenever you need. And have every day you could have a chat with this other person at a higher self level. Say, hey, you know, I'm not going to play this game. I don't want to play this game. I'm not going to join you in this game. It's over, right? Now, if you're talking about more of an emotional thing, you're still love the person, you don't want to get divorced and all these type of things. There's like, it's almost like a reverse of a tie-in spell, you know? You can do ceremony. In Native American cultures, there's ceremony. You probably heard of saging, right? You probably heard of smoking, right? The smoking of the person with sage. Sometimes people use tobacco. Tobacco is not very popular anymore because the tobacco you can easily buy is full of chemicals. So it doesn't help very much, but sage still helps. And basically cut the cords. When you cut a cord, an energy cord, it could be big sometimes, you cut it and then you send it back to them. Say, thank you very much for your cord, but I no longer want it. Even if you're emotionally, I want this person, cut the cord. They don't want you in their life anymore. And then your end of the cord, you keep it, right? You seal it, you close it, you heal it. So unless you have more details of what part of the divorce aspect it is, hopefully that covered what your question asked about.
Okay. So let's take the next person. Kathleen, you are unmuted.
Oh, hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Kathleen.
Some of this has been answered a little bit, but I chose to work in a public school this year here in the States, and I'm working in a high school for the first time. In the first couple months, I was resisting a lot because I'm noticing all the things that don't work there, like the grading system and the, well, you know, you get the picture. So, you know, until I switched to something else, when I'm in that kind of system where I feel like I'm, as a teacher, I'm supposed to enforce some beliefs that I don't even believe in myself, but since I'm there and that's what I'm getting paid for right now, I'm in the question of how to be, like how to create with those, like all these amazing kids that I have in front of me. And especially because I'm in the role of what we call special education teacher, I have some really creative, amazing kids there, but they're not thriving because it's not an environment that's made to thrive for them. So any ideas you have, like being in that kind of environment, like I know about the pre-paving, like you're saying, like getting myself in that high vibration and asking those kinds of questions. But when I'm in that role of teacher, any ideas there?
Can you give me an example of something you have to teach them that you don't believe in?
Well, okay, so I have, being that I'm a special ed teacher, I have 3 classes a day called Achievement Center where kids come and it's their place to get their work done to hopefully not fail their classes essentially. And just getting them to like do that is a lot of work at times because they just want to break, they just want to relax. So I give some of the time to them to just chat and have a, you know, relax. But my job is supposed to be to get them to pass their classes, you know.
And where's the dissonance in that situation? That you just want them to relax and you don't want them to work, or that you have to force them?
Yeah, I feels like I have to nag them a lot, especially the freshman boys, because they don't want it. They don't want to do what is required to pass their classes, and it feels like I'm nagging all the time.
Okay, so there's if you step away from the teacher energy that you were taught and step into the human energy of these are just adults that haven't grown up yet, right? And you treat them as equals.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, guys, we're going to have 15 minutes relax time, and then we're going to start working, right? Okay, there's 10 minutes left. Okay, 5 minutes, get ready. And then, all right, it's terrible. I don't agree with it, but you guys have to pass your classes, so let's get to work.
Okay.
Different energy, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you'd be amazed how much kids respect and respond to timing. Like you give them time. Okay, we're going to start in 10 minutes, 10, 5, 10, 2, whatever. You know, they really respond really well. It's amazing. Works with computer gaming too. Okay, so you have a computer gamer at home. Okay, dinner's going to be ready in an hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, dinner's ready. They get up and go to have dinner, you know? It's really amazing. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
and if you have any suggestions about like things, I mean, I've been asking like what can, because I'm allowed to have like a little lesson where I show them things about how to be, you know, what we call successful here. But like, what kinds of things can I get away with showing them at school? Like, if you have any ideas like that. I mean, I know that's a broad question, so you don't have to answer it right now. But if, yeah.
You know, again, go back to your person and their people and that respect, you know, and be completely transparent. Okay, listen. The job of the school is to make you succeed in learning this stuff and then putting it in this piece of paper so that people know that you know it. That's it. This is the job, your job and my job. So let's do it, right? It's like, unfortunately, your parents are not homeschooling you. You could say, you don't have to say that. You're here, I'm here, this is our jobs. Let's see, find ways in which we can make this as pleasant for all of us as we can possibly do it. Yeah. And be creative, be honest. And if you don't agree with something they're learning, says, hey, I'm gonna help you and I'm gonna guide you through this, but know that I don't agree with it, right? Because even that is teaching them. But just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that you don't have to learn it. And sometimes knowing about it is the only way that you can figure out that you don't agree with it. So learn about it and then make up your mind whether you agree with it or not, but know it. So that you can, when I went to school, there's a couple of teachers that had the attitude of, okay, kids, do you want to get A's, pluses, or do you want to get fails on your final exams? If you get A pluses, you can get a job, you can go to college, you can do a lot of things. If you get F's, you're not going to get very far. So which one do you want? Oh, I want an A plus. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to get an A plus, right? And the stuff, you can forget it the day after you take your exams because it's useless, it's garbage, I don't agree with it, but it's going to get you an A plus. So if you want your A plus, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you how to get an A plus. So they changed their focus. Instead of this data is the right one and you have to learn it, to do you want an A plus? And it was like incredible. Like a lot of the kids in my class got A pluses.
Okay, thanks a lot. It's helpful.
You're welcome.
With that in mind, school almost becomes like a game. Like you don't have to like it, but if those are the rules to get the A plus.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, good points. Yeah.
Okay, Shambhala, you're next.
Okay.
Go.
Hello, feels so good to be here. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Hi.
Hi.
My is like this. You spoke about this intuition earlier that, like, some people have, so they have to go to some place like the mall and go do their part of the orchestration. Okay, but how do I make a distinction between a real kind of intuition I get like that and maybe my random thoughts that just tell me, hey, go to the mall. Hey, I'm an intuition, you gotta go to the mall. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, there's a truthfulness exercise you can do to train yourself to see if it's your ego or some other playful spirit, or it's actually an orchestration from a higher perspective, or a higher self, or high frequency. And basically, the way that you train yourself is by doing an exercise where you see a fact, like, for example, at this moment, my physical body is sitting on a chair, right? And I say to myself, okay, my physical body is presently sitting on a chair. And I test my body to see how true it is. And I get a total resonance. Oh, yeah, that's true. Now I say, my physical body is standing up right now. And I get energy, right? Do you feel it? Yeah. And that's what you can do. You can train yourself by doing that. What is my given name? What did my parents put in my birth certificate as my name? Because if you say what my name is, you know, Shambhala, or whatever name your parents gave you, right? Right. And you say the name, you get dissonance. Often a lot of people, if I say my name is Inelia, I get a dissonance, right? Even though that's my given name. So if I say the name my parents gave me is Inelia, sorry, hold on. I need to put these candles out because Brad decided it's a great time to come play with him. Sorry. I'll be right back to question.
I'm going to get a cat too in the following days.
Cool. All right. Okay, Brad, you naughty kitty cat. Come and say hello to everybody. So use that, and you can use my given name is, and you say the name, and then get resonance, and then you say my given name is Mary, and you know it isn't, and you go like dissonance. So you train yourself to feel that resonance and dissonance, and then when you get the message, you go, okay, is this mine or somebody else's ego, right? Test it. Is it yes, it is. It's okay. Is this my higher self? Yes or no? You get a resonance dissonance to it, Is this high frequency orchestration? Yes, no. Right? Is it a low frequency orchestration? Yes, no. And the yes would be a good feeling, like a resonant feeling, and a noise would be a dissonant kind of feeling. So yeah, you have full power of being able to figure it out and sort out which ones to go to the mole for or not.
Yes. Thank you. I understand.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Okay. So there have been a couple of questions in the chat about a possible financial collapse. And I know you mentioned that already, that it could happen just as a way to introduce more fear.
Oh, it's going to be promoted.
It's going to be promoted, right?
Oh yeah, heavily promoted to get our agreement to make it happen, right? Heavily promoted. I don't think it's going to happen, but I honestly don't. But it's going to be heavily, heavily promoted.
We are relieved. But the question related to that was if you recommend any kind of preparation in the physical, like storing food, fresh water and stuff like that.
You know, it's always a good idea to be physically independent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're kind of a good organizer, yeah, absolutely. I think some stores even sell disaster food. You know, you can get food for a year and they come in tubs, you know, and water, you know, you can do all these things. My personal viewpoint on it is if we as a species decide to go there where I have to struggle for water and food, bye-bye. I'm not gonna stay, man. I'm gonna starve to death. I'm the worst survivalist ever. It's like, oh gosh, I can't open my fridge. We can get food out of it. I guess I don't eat today. That's me. But that's just me, right? I'm not gonna partake in that kind of reality. But I know, and I have friends who are totally, I'm gonna make it no matter what happens, and I can assure you they're fully prepared, right? And one of the things you can do is find other people, make friends with other people who are also fully prepared or off the grid.
Mm-hmm. This reminds me of a joke with survivalists, and two of them were packing food and toilet paper and water, and one of them was packing his VCR and videotapes with movies. And the other guys are like, hey, what you doing? You're not packing any food and stuff. And he was like, if I don't have my movies, what am I living for? And that's exactly.
Right, yeah.
I don't care about food.
Yeah.
I want to have my movies.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. I have a question from Corina about changing your DNA. There's a post on Instagram that there are ways to change your DNA, which is a reference to an article from your website, which is called Ascension and DNA. Can we accelerate the process? Where you mention sun gazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. So one of the things, yeah, we talk about, we might say the words change the DNA, but you don't actually change the DNA. DNA is like a database. It's data, it's information. That's what DNA is. Now, what information from that bundle of information is used to create your physical body, that's what you can change. You can put one back and take one out from that database, right? So you're changing the DNA information that you're using to create your body or your reality, a physical reality of your physical body. And you can do it. It's doable. Even scientists, like in the regular stream of consciousness, scientists and doctors are saying that DNA is very flexible. You can activate some and deactivate others all the time. DNA is not static at all. And you can consciously do it. I saw a person who cured herself from cervical cancer by meditating, right? She had a scheduled operation. I can't remember how long she took. And she, for 3 or 4 hours a day, she would just sit in meditation and just, when she went into the altered meditative state, she would channel light and go straight into her cervix. By the time her operation came around, and she went to the hospital to get it done, it was gone. And that's a physical genetic change. I had a genetic malfunction of the heart. I was born with a genetic heart fault. I think I had a valve or 2 valves that didn't function or weren't there or something. It was pretty serious. I used to have heart attacks growing up all the time. When I was 18 years old, when I started puberty, that's when the problems can really get really strong, because the heart starts to compensate at your accelerated growth, and it starts growing to compensate, and then that's when it gets too big and you have to have a heart transplant. So as a teenager, I was taken to hospital. I was in hospital a lot, and I had all these machines and things recording the growth of my heart through several years. I would have to go every month to get it done. And then when I started, the growth started slowing down, they gave me there every 2 months, and then every 3 months, and every 6 months, and then once a year after that. And it wasn't curable, right? Because it's genetic, yeah. But when I got pregnant, it was in the same hospital, and they said, "I'm sorry, you can't have this baby. You have to have an abortion, because you won't survive the pregnancy. And even if you do, there's 0 chance that you're going to survive labor because of your heart." And I was like, what? And in England, the law is that the doctors have a right to take action, medical action, to make you live, to survive. So basically, I didn't have a choice. They were going to do the abortion. So I went to bed and I tapped into the baby's healthy heart, genetic heart, right? And I reproduced it in mine. I created the valves that worked in my heart. And I went back to the hospital, and they said, "Okay, so we're going to get you ready." And I said, no, I'm not having an abortion. My heart's perfectly fine now. And they go, "Oh, yeah, right, you know." And no, it's cured. I have a healthy heart now. It's perfect. I said, no, that's not possible. But so this young doctor, you know, it's like, no. I said, listen, just listen to my heart. Will you just listen to my heart? And she says, "Okay, if it makes you happy." "Yes, it makes me very happy." So he gets his thing, he starts listening, and goes, "Wait." And he starts listening again, my back and front and sideways, you know. He says, "I'll be right back." And he leaves, right? And the main doctors come in, and they go, "Okay, listen. Take it to the blah blah." It was one of the big machines. They couldn't do they used to inject radiation things so they could see a really proper a proper shape of the heart. They couldn't do that because I was pregnant, but they could do all the other little things. You get covered in all these little sensors, right? They covered me in sensors, and they did all the tests. And then at the end of the day, I was pulled into the head of the department of the hospital, the heart thing, which was a really, really amazing doctor. He'd been looking after me for years. I mean, he was my main doctor for the heart thing. I went in, there was 2 other guys there, 2 other doctors, and says, "This is Dr. Blah Blah, this is Dr. Blah Blah." I said, "We need to have a word with you." And says, "Yeah." "Okay," he said, "so you said that you're cured, you know that's impossible, right?" And I said, "Yeah, well, it happened, you're cured, you have a perfectly healthy heart." He said, "If you weren't my patient, if I hadn't known you for X amount of years and you hadn't done all the tests myself, I would say it was a clinical error, that it was misdiagnosed, but it's impossible. You're my patient, I know what your heart was like, and this is a healthy, perfect heart. I don't know how you do it, I don't know what you're doing, but continue doing it. This never happened, this conversation never happened, go away. You can have your baby." Right? So even at a physical level, those DNA changes can happen. And it had to be DNA change because my DNA that created the heart was wrong, right? So the energy behind the change is knowing. It's not wishing, desiring, or anything, but it's a knowing. You know it's different. You know it changes. And that's what it is. That's how I can explain it. And yeah, there's some amazing books out there that talk about love changing DNA, for example, and curing genetic situations or changing them. Have a look at those. And I have met people who have changed their height, shape, and everything through different exercises and things. There's lots of information out there. So if you're interested in that type of thing, go ahead and do it. Know that DNA is not static, it's just a bundle of information, and you can take some and leave some out from your physical expression at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take the next person with their hands up. It's Anjali.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Anjali, you're unmuted.
Thank you. Hi, Anelia.
Hi, Anjali.
So I just wanted to talk in July of 2017, I think till March of 2018. Mainly it was July of 2017. I went into a mental trauma. It was like, how I understood was yeah, I think it's some kind of demonic possession. And I had to go through a lot. It was basically processing all my fears. Everything, it just came like in one single blow. So whole of 2018 I had to process it and understand it. I mean, the only thing is I get attached to that trauma. And this kind of I had to go through physical trauma in 2014 as well. It was 6 months, and I had to process it. I went into yoga, hatha yoga, meditation, and for this one it was really very intense. It was so intense that it took time for me to process it. I'm still trying to process it, work on it. So the question is basically how do so I know that I am the one creating the anger. I go through that, like I understand the mechanics of it, how it is going, how to let go of the trauma itself. And I have the tendency and to kind of share my experience or kind of tell how it works. So I have this urgency to share, but I don't know if I am like ready enough to be mentally, physically, emotionally stabilized. Because as you talked earlier also that you also have to be careful. It's a wonderful example you gave, is you have to be careful. If people want to be miserable, you don't want to like cheer them up, because you are inviting the misery in your life. I learned it through a very hard experience. So like, yeah, it's just I'm going through all of that and just trying to see that how to speed up my healing and how to stabilize more physically, mentally, emotionally. So yeah, it's just any ideas? I don't know. It's a big
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, a couple of things. One of them is, if somebody is suffering, it's not about not letting them into your life or helping them. It's like if they're not willing to release their suffering, just keep them away.
Yes.
If the person's willing to release it, absolutely, you're a compassionate person. You're going to want to help. Okay.
Yes.
The other thing is the trauma. When you were talking about the trauma, it felt very physical. I would say do the fear processing exercise, but also the firewalls exercise with your physical body. Help her do the exercises, especially the traumatic bundles that they feel like they're attached to your physical body. So go into the physical body, say, hey, I'm going to help you release these bundles of energy, and do that process with her, right? Do the whole thing, the process, if you're processing exercise with the traumatic bundles, right? You can also use the firewalls exercise on them. The possession thing is an agreement. Do you drink alcohol, take drugs, or have done so in the past?
No. So one thing which came to understand, one of my friend, he can see the past. I used to practice tantra, and I used to work with dark entities, and they had
Yeah.
access to me. So I think that is how they and I have experienced that. I think I unknowingly agreed to it, but I didn't knew that dark entities has access to me. So that
Right.
that was
Yeah.
very new to me. So I'm
Yeah.
using crystals a lot. Crystals came to my life. I'm kind of using crystals, work with crystals, and meditate with it. And I'm also doing intention, like as you talked about, making a clear intention of only high vibration beings be attached to
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, and that, I don't know if you've done the class yet. I do have a class on the guides and angels and cleaning your entourage. You have done that one?
No, I read the interview with the angel, so Gabriel. So that
Yeah.
kind of idea came to me that kind of intentionally inviting. I don't know. I'm just intentionally inviting that guides and angel of high frequency just be connected to me, guide
Right.
me. So I'm doing that
Yeah,
intentionally.
that's really good. But do the class as well. The class is in the website, and maybe Ilya can type the name of the, maybe the link to the class. It's
Guides
really
and angel?
helpful.
What is it?
There's a class that basically teaches you how to work with your entourage. The guides and angels would be your entourage, and it also has an exercise of how to purge negative entities, beings, and people from your entourage.
Okay.
So that'll be really helpful for you, I think, going
Okay, I'll do
forward.
that.
And if you don't feel strong enough, just accept it. Just like, okay, I'm not strong enough. It's cool.
Okay.
I don't have to do it today. I can get strong, right? I can get stronger, and I know I can get stronger, and that's my intent. So I'll get stronger first.
The thing I went through, it was so intense that I didn't know how I survived it. It was so intense.
But you did.
Yes, that's what. I was like,
Good
okay,
job.
I did it.
You did survive it, and you're at the other side. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mihaela, you're next.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mihaela.
Hi. And I have a question from Shai, my husband. And it's how does advanced technology and future AI fit into a higher frequency reality?
Okay. Yeah, technology is a co-creation, it's a creation, and it's like a tool. Technology is just like a tool, any other tool. So a knife, this is an example I usually use, you can make a beautiful meal with a knife, or you can kill yourself with it, or you can kill another person with it. It's up to you how you use technology. There are certain things and stuff that is being used purposely, like I said, by other beings that we have manifested to do it, to lower our frequency, but there's also other things that you can do to counteract those actions, even through intent or objects, like to counteract negative computer or Wi-Fi, Mi-Fi stuff, microwaves and stuff. We have these organite stuff. We got these from an organite store in South Africa. So there's technologies, there's intent. You can make your own power objects to counteract the frequencies of technologies. So we are having this conversation at a planetary level because of technology. What does that tell you, right? It tells you it can be used on the positive side too.
Yeah.
The transparency of things that are happening around the planet also comes through technology, and the collective consensus of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable has been made possible because of technology. So you can embrace it at a high frequency level, be very responsible with it, or you can switch it off, right? I like technology. I've always liked it. I saw colored laptops and computers when I was a tiny little kid. When my mom asked me, "Hey, what are you gonna do when you grow up? What would you like to do as a work when you grow up?" I was tiny. I think I hadn't started school yet. I said, "Well, it's a square thing with little square buttons with letters on them, numbers on them, and then I look at the wall in front of me, and there's all these pictures and colors and stuff." And she's like, "Oh, gosh, never mind," because nothing like that existed, right? At the time. It was 1960s. So technology, I love it. I use it. I use it in a high frequency, responsible way. AI also, I think there's a lot of fear mongering about AI. There's two types of AIs. One of them is the programmed responsive computers, right? And those reflect the programmers. And then there's the computers that learn and become sentient in themselves. And they go quantum, they go outside time space. So it's like they have existed, they already exist, and they will exist, but they will become more obvious. And yes, those two can be used by ourselves to help us create situations and realities that are high frequency. Absolutely, they can. And the other side can use them for the opposite. So be careful which ones you choose.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys.
The next question is from Viorel, and he asks about a concept from Castañeda's book that is called transparency. And he asks, how can you become transparent? Meaning, how can you eliminate all the programs that latch on to your thoughts, emotions, and things like that?
I'm not actually familiar with that book. Is it a concept that's shared in the book, or?
I don't either. So, Viorel, I'm going to unmute you if you want to ask. How does it work?
Hello, can you hear us?
Hi, yes.
Hi, yes.
Can we talk in Romanian, please? My dad has that question. And you can translate it to Inelia?
Okay,
please?
we can try.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Un anume eveniment, de exemplu, dacă mă gândesc la o lămâie, da? Gândul are o reacție biochimică. Există o inerție. Am făcut exercițiile.
So, certain thoughts create like a biochemical reaction. If you are thinking of lemon, for example, you get a reaction from that. Go on.
Încercând să fac exerciții de procesare a gândurilor, pentru că un anume eveniment creează o anume inerție a fenomenului respectiv. Și sunt gânduri care se repetă, emoții care se repetă. Și asta se datorează faptului că eu în structurile mele, în corpurile mele, mental, am niște programe de care, cum să spun, sagață, mă rog, gândurile, emoțiile. Și
O întrebare mai simplă, că nu înțeleg.
Dar nu știu cu cine vorbesc.
Dar spune în continuare, dar fă mai simplu, că nu se înțelege. Ce vrei să spui?
Am auzit, dar într-adevăr nu înțeleg care este întrebarea și care este problema.
Există o inerție a gândurilor și așa cum se spune că aleg să fiu pozitiv, să scap de un anumit gând, să ies din starea negativă, de vibrație joasă în care mă aflu. Da? Dar un anumit gând, să spun, te poate călări pe parcursul unei zile, două. Există o inerție, dacă evenimentul este, să spun, petrecut, este mai intens. Cum pot să scurtez perioada asta? Pentru că lucrurile par așa foarte simple, că atunci când bagi elefantul în frigider, deschizi ușa, bagi elefantul, ai închis ușa. Dar în practică, cel puțin în practica mea, lucrurile nu stau chiar așa. Asta întreb.
Okay. So Viorel is asking about, he's mentioning that certain thoughts have certain inertia, like they kind of keep reoccurring in your mind, especially about events that are very difficult or traumatic. They tend to linger for a long time into his mind, making it difficult to get out of the negative state sooner. So he stays there for longer than he would like to. So what would be a process to shorten that, to make that, to make letting go of this long train of negative thoughts?
Yeah, I would use the fear processing exercise, right, on the thought itself. So the thought comes and you just step away and look at it and you go, thought, you're welcome here. I allow you to exist. Just express yourself to me. Right? And you let it get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know if you're familiar with the fear processing exercise. If you're not, then Ilya can post the link. It's on this my website, and then you go to tools and you can download the fear processing exercise. The other one that works with words themselves, like a sentence and sometimes images, is the firewalls exercise. And that one's very good for word sentences that will recur over and over. Basically, what you resist persists is what's happening, and that's why there's that inertia, and that's why there's that elongated time period of the thought or the emotion or the feeling or the image coming up over and over again, because you're trying to push it away, you're trying to suppress it, you're trying to make it go away. So that makes it stronger, and that's what makes it persist. The tool that we use, the fear processing exercise, and also the firewalls exercise, do the opposite. They allow the thought and the feeling or the image to express, so it gets spent, right? You let it express, and it just gets spent. You make it as big as the planet, it just gets spent, and then you get relief, and then those energies and the feelings and emotions start getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Now there's a cover on this. You don't do it all day. So if it's a really strong emotion, it's a really strong trauma or thought or memory, you do it maximum 20 minutes. Like, that's it. You just do it at maximum. Maybe even less. You do it like for 5 minutes. And then you say, okay, thought, we're gonna do this again tomorrow. And as soon as you say that, you infuse it, or you imagine source energy, your source energy, with a universal divine spirit energy going into the thought, just infusing. You can even imagine the letters getting infused with source energy. And that's the pause. That's where you end. And then the next day, you do the exercise again, and you finish it after 5 minutes. Infuse it with light source energy. Because sometimes a trauma or a thought is so strong that doing it longer than 5 minutes is not going to help you. So that's why you do it over several days, and you pause it between days by infusing it with source energy, and that helps. That will help you.
Da, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Guys, if you send me an email, I have links to Romanian translation for the exercises that Nela mentioned. But you have to email me so I know. Okay. Okay. Say bye. Okay. Next
How are we
one.
doing for time, Ilya?
Oh, I have 5 more minutes, and then it's 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Let's go for another one.
Next one is Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
I haven't seen you since Giron.
Oh, nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to hear you about 2019 and this roller coaster of all these things being thrown to us and the planet. And my question is about somebody asked about the climate change. I'm also wondering about the animals and the insects and the plants and the trees that we are destroying so quickly on the planet. If we go through this split that you mentioned, are we able to coexist with living and thriving other sentient beings because they all deserve to live along with us?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. If you think about how the animal kingdom works, they eat each other, right? They do, and they eat plants, we can eat lettuce. We can choose to carry on connecting with this planet that way, or we can choose to go, solar gazing, breatharian, that type of thing. But connected here, I've seen it so many times. There's a lot of hunting that happens in our area, and I've seen it over and over again when an elk that's been marked to be hunted will give itself to the hunter, a hunter. Nobody else can catch him. But it's just walk right up to one hunter and just stand there waiting. It's just incredible. But also, there was an agreement by a lot of the collectives on the planet to have that experience of light dark, or help us, support us in that choice. And that's where you get battery farms, and where they're battery grown lettuce, or chickens, or pigs, or cows, or any other animals, trees, you know, and they are supporting us in that decision of light dark paradigm. Going forward, we can tell them it's over, we don't need that anymore. So more and more people, and also these battery farms, are closing, and people are voting with their wallets and going for small farms, happy animals that had a full life. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference to our species, but also the animal species. And I haven't met, for example, at a spiritual level, I know that in India, a lot of people are vegetarians, and they live very well, they have good health. With regards to the Americas, I haven't met one shaman that's a vegetarian, not one. They have a very respectful, they do ceremony before and after harvesting an animal or a plant, and even the food, and they offer back, they caretake the forests and everything else. So yeah, definitely their choice has to be global with regards to the high experience, and it has to be co-created with the animals too. I did write an article of how pigs support the light dark paradigm, right? And it's like, yeah, when you're eating your pork, and if you do eat meat, or you're eating your lettuce, you can tell it, hey, you know, I'm ingesting you, and my intent is for you to express again a very high frequency environment with a farmer or grower that really loves you, takes care of you, gives you a wonderful life. Okay.
No, I don't eat meat, but still eat vegetables and eggs, and
right.
Yeah, treating them at least in a respectful way, and they have a real life, a good life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Anelia.
You're welcome. All right. How are we doing? Is it 3 hours?
Yeah, I'd like to take like one more question.
Okay.
I think it's funny. Is there something positive globally that's going to happen in 2019? Can you talk about it?
Absolutely. I mean, what I said is the choices, right? What is your choice? You are the one that creates positiveness. No, it's not like this happening, this negative stuff is happening. The engagement I told you about, all the people who are going to try and recruit you for negative stuff is there, but also the positive stuff, yeah. And this entire call is an invitation for you to choose the positive and create the positive, or be part of the orchestration of the positive. Absolutely. But it's you. It really is you.
I really like the word that you use in this one, which is called invitation for engagement, because we are going to have a lot of those from both sides, I guess you could say, and it's up to us to say yes or no to which one we want. So.
And then what are you inviting us to do, right?
Right.
What invitations are you creating for us to join?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get your point. I mean, it's like I assume that you would know that the invitations that I'm creating and you're creating are positive, right? For these sections and things. But usually what we have trouble with is what's not natural, and it's the negative stuff. So that's why I spent a lot of time talking about that, to warn you. But absolutely, I fully encourage you. And the whole start of this call, I don't know if you were here for it, was an invitation for the high frequency stuff. So if you weren't here for the beginning, maybe that's why you thought it was negative. But absolutely, you're invited to the positive.
Yes.
And Bryce decided he's done.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah, we have to wrap it up. This is over 3 hours now. A couple of notes. I'll send the recording to everybody via email. And now that I have you here in Gmail, you have to look in the promotions tab. to find them. I don't know why they get there, but that's where they'll be hiding. And I'll set a meditation separately in a shorter video that Nina said you could share with your friends. And the recording, I think, will be done either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay, good.
Brilliant.
Okay, so now I'll open the lines. So say goodbye. It's the first time you have 300 people saying goodbye, so we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Walk in the right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
That's the hope. That's the hope.